watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about
it. Who is Kamala? She is the most unpopular vice president in American history.
Mister, let's go on and have the conversation.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this evening? It's your boy, Mr. Provoked Thoughts. We are in the building, man, on a Tuesday, and I am not supposed to be here, but I'm here because it's always something going on. And what we got going on tonight is absolutely amazing. It's crazy to me, man. I am tripping. I'm bugging. I am like, what in the world is happening? Is it happening again? Yes, it's happening again, everybody. We got another individual accused, and you never know who in this cesspool of entertainment gonna get hit by SA allegations, man. And it is crazy, man. We got up on deck taking swings, practice swings, to the tune of a $50 million lawsuit. Smokey Robinson, man. I'm talking about, yes, Smokey Robinson. I'm talking about wrote my girl, Smokey Robinson, Ebony Eyes, Smokey Robinson. You really got a hold on me, Smokey Robinson. I'm talking about one of the legends, man. Another absolute legend sitting up here accused of the unthinkable, man. The absolute unthinkable. It is crazy, man. About a couple hours ago, not even that, about hours or change ago, I was sitting up here just going through my YouTube phase and ran into that and couldn't believe what I saw, man. I could not believe it. I could not believe it, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to check it out. We're going to comment about it. For those who are in here, thank you for coming. Those on YouTube and those on X, if it's your first time coming in, make sure that you do like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can know every time I go live and talk about something, and we have Provoked Thoughts. So let's go ahead and see if we can make it through this. Oh my goodness.
Against William Smokey Robinson Jr., we believe that Mr. Robinson is a serial and sick rapist that must be stopped.
The very man who swooned fans with his music for decades is now accused of sexual assault. But he's not the only one named as a defendant in this shocking lawsuit.
I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. Smokey Robinson and his wife Frances are accused of negligence, sexual battery, false imprisonment, and hostile work environment. And those are just some of the claims brought against the legendary singer.
So him and his wife are actually sitting here accused of these unthinkable, dastardly acts. Ain't that something? Let's go.
4 women who we only know as Jane Does.
The principal.
Why is it that they always got to be Jane Does, though? Why can't, you're supposed to be able to face your accuser, but I guess that's gone. I mean, that's been long gone since, the R. Kelly trial, since the Bill Cosby thing. They don't want you to face nobody. They want you to have a mystery opponent, a luchador, basically.
Causes of action against Mr. Robinson, in particular, are sexual battery, assault, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment. Obviously, these ladies are identified in the lawsuit as Does, Jane Does 1 through 4, to protect their privacy, since the lawsuit involves sexual misconduct of the worst sort.
The nearly 30-page complaint was brought against Smokey Robinson and his wife Frances Robinson today in Los Angeles Superior Court.
Our four clients have a common thread. They're Hispanic women who were employed as housekeepers by the Robinsons, earning below minimum wage.
Okay, so basically, they weren't making the money that they were supposed to be making. Basically making below minimum wage. All Hispanic women. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's keep going.
As low-wage workers in vulnerable positions, they lack the resources and options necessary to protect themselves from sexual assaults throughout their tenure as employees for the Robinsons.
Pause. Don't he look like this could be a cat from back in the day that got a grudge against Smokey because he didn't give him a record deal or something, or didn't look out for him or something. He looked like he from back in the day, like he was kind of slick back in the 60s and 70s. Kind of looked like it, allegedly. We'll keep it moving, y'all.
Let me briefly summarize each of their individual claims. I will not describe the details of the sexual assaults and rapes because they're too graphic and disturbing for this news conference. But you can read them in the complaints that we have provided with many of you today.
According to the court filing, Jane Doe 1 began working for the Robinsons as their housekeeper from January 3rd of 2023 up until February of 2024. She claimed she was forced to resign because Smokey repeatedly sexually assaulted and sexually harassed her. The first alleged incident happened in March of 2023. Jane Doe says she worked on the weekend for the couple. On a Saturday, the complaint says defendant Smokey Robinson would take defendant...
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second. She was forced to resign after repeated sexual assaults, man. Repeated? I don't know, man. I don't know why people ain't gone the first time. That kind of behooves me a little bit. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. That's crazy.
Francis Robinson to the nail salon and would rush home, knowing that he would be alone with plaintiff JD1, or Jane Doe 1. When Smokey came home, he allegedly would call her into his bedroom, lock the door, escort the couple's dog Shiloh out of the room. He showers, then only puts on his underwear, then would neatly place a white towel on his bed in preparation for what was about to occur. The filing goes on to say Smokey would kiss Jane Doe in her mouth, her neck.
Dang, they make that sound horrible. Like, it's just the way they make that sound, the mouth, the neck. That's crazy.
And breast. Then he would allegedly roughly penetrate her vagina with his fingers, orally copulate her, then penetrate her with his penis, which caused her great pain. The complaint alleges Smokey enjoyed ejaculating in her without using a condom.
Wait. What was that? What was that? What was that that we just heard? What was that we just heard? Hold on.
Underwear, then would neatly place a white towel on his bed in preparation for what was about to occur. The filing goes on to say Smokey would kiss Jane Doe in her mouth, her neck, and breast. Then he would allegedly roughly penetrate her vagina with his fingers, orally copulate her, then penetrate her with his penis, which caused her great pain. The complaint alleges Smokey enjoyed ejaculating in her without using a condom. Jane Doe...
But how would he know? Look, man, why ain't there no little mixed Smokey babies running around, man? That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Wow. This is deep. This is crazy.
Says she would resist, and in one attempt to stop him, she said, "You're married," and Smokey casually ignored it. The filing says Smokey allegedly sexually assaulted Jane Doe in that same manner at least 7 times, and the last assault occurred on February 17th of 2024, and she resigned the following week. As for Frances Robinson, Jane Doe 1 alleges she failed to take appropriate action to prevent her husband's conduct, despite having full knowledge of his alleged prior acts of sexual misconduct. According to the filing, he settled cases with other women that have suffered and experienced similar sexual.
Here we go. Settled cases. You all know my motto. Never settle. Never settle, man. This is crazy. This got the potential to be crazier than Shannon Sharp, man. Crazy that this. You know how far this man goes back. They don't give a crap about the fact that he in his 80s, man. They don't care, man. They will go back on this dude, man. This is amazing. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. This is amazing. This is crazy. Let's keep it moving.
Assault perpetrated by him. Jane Doe 1 also claims Frances perpetuated a hostile work environment by regularly screaming at Jane Doe 1. As for Jane Doe 2, she worked for the couple from May of 2014 until February of 2020 and only resigned for the same reasons as Jane Doe 1. Jane Doe 2 claims that Smokey sexually assaulted her in the later part of 2016 when they were home alone together. Smokey allegedly texted her asking her to meet him at his home in Chatsworth, which according to the complaint was without closed-circuit cameras. He allegedly summoned Jane Doe 2 to the laundry room or garage where the cameras weren't there. He would grab her and begin penetrating her with his fingers, and then he would allegedly...
Dang, Smokey was out here beasting from what they saying. I'm talking about he can hemming them up in garages and everything. Man, this is wild. But we reserve judgment. We listen to the story.
Rape her. The filing says Smokey allegedly sexually assaulted Jane Doe 2 23 different times and would
23 times. I don't know, Chad. Y'all let me know, man. 23 times. Do y'all think that at a point after so many times it's not sexual assault anymore? It's a consensual act? I'm not too sure, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Let's keep going, man. Oh my goodness.
Humiliate her. He also allegedly didn't use a condom with her either. And if she refused, Smokey allegedly would make his wife be mean to her. Jane Doe 2, like Jane Doe 1, says she was unwilling to report due to fear of losing her livelihood, public embarrassment, effects on her immigration status, and because Smokey was a well-known celeb with influential friends and associates. Jane Doe 3 allegations are very similar. She worked from Smokey from February of 2012 until April of 2024. He would allegedly do the same bedroom ritual, including showering, placing a towel on his bed, then would allegedly force Jane Doe 3 to lie face down on the towel and then would penetrate her. The complaint alleges Smokey Robinson.
All right. There's two stories that are exactly the same. Two stories exactly the same. There are no encounters, man, like that are exactly the same. That's crazy. Wow. Exactly the same. Oh wow, exactly the same. I bet you the third one exactly the same too. Watch.
And raped Jane Doe 3 in the same manner at least 20 times. On one occasion, Jane Doe 3 allegedly resisted the singer, and Smokey allegedly offered her $500 to allow him to orally copulate her, which she refused. She claims she resigned.
Wait a minute. If you're assaulting somebody, you're not asking, let alone paying for anything. You just take. And which time was it? Was it the first time, the 15th time, the 7th time? Out of 20 times, that's like a full-blown relationship. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the concept of 20 times. I don't get it. I don't get it.
From her job in April of 2024 after his alleged sexual assault and hostile work environment was experienced daily. And she says that Francis allegedly perpetrated the hostile work environment by regularly screaming at her and saying ethnic slurs to her, something that Jane Doe 1 and 2 also claimed happened to them. As for Jane Doe 4, she was also a longtime housekeeper for the singer, working from him from October of 2006 to April of 2024. She also worked as a personal assistant, cook, and hairdresser for Smokey's wife, Frances. Jane Doe 4 claims the first sexual assault happened in 2007 when she accompanied Smokey to his Las Vegas home. When the two were alone together, he allegedly forced her into the bedroom and raped her. Another incident in the filing says around mid-2019, Jane Doe 4 was cleaning the primary bedroom. Smokey showered and returned to the bedroom while naked and erect. He allegedly did the same method that he allegedly did with Jane Doe's 1, 2, and 3, pulling back the sheets, laying the towel down, and began kissing her breasts and neck. Then
we got a script here. There's a script. It's a script to this one. This is crazy, man. Every time he encountered these females, he lay down the towel. He go take a shower, come in the room naked, lay down the towel, and the condom in sight. This is insane. This is, boy, boy, I don't know. You never know. You know what? People are fetishy, and everybody got their freak level, man, and things like that. This is kind of mind-boggling to me, though. This actually sounds a little bit scripted, a little bit rehearsed to a degree, because it's all happening the same way. All happening the same way. What's up, noobs? How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Yeah, you would have just heard about this because this just dropped today. This is fresh. Very, very fresh. Oh my goodness, it's fresh. So as we look at this for what it is, I don't even know what it is. I'm trying my best to reserve judgment, but 20 times, $500 offers in between to do nasty stuff to you. It's crazy. And then the $50 million lawsuit. That's oh wow.
Allegedly raped her too. According to the filing, Smokey's alleged sexual harassment and assault continued until the very day she decided to resign. The filing says Smokey's wife Frances also regularly screamed at Jane Doe 4 in a hostile manner and used ethnic slurs against her.
The obvious question that one will ask, and I suspect most will, why didn't they report Robinson's criminal misconduct to law enforcement or go public before now?
Because they were scared and he had too much power, and oh my God, and he used intimidation tactics and talked to me mean, and I had to stay because I was making money even though he wasn't paying me even minimum wage. I mean, I don't know. This is deep. This get into a lot of the things that we going up. The Hispanic women getting, oh my gosh, wow.
As I said before, these women were all low wage earners living from paycheck to paycheck. They all feared missing a payday and not being able to pay their rent or buy food for their families. And also, Smokey's Robinson celebrity status intimidated them and all made them feel powerless.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Oh my God!
I want to add.
I don't know. He looked like one of them a failed R&B artist that got a grudge. That's what he looked like to me.
That these four women were afraid of shame, familial humiliation, and embarrassment. The stigma that still exists in some cultures that unfortunately blames a rape victim for the assault perpetrated against them.
20 times a piece. 20 times a piece, yeah. Oh, goodness, wow. And we blaming people. That's crazy.
Having to tell their husband and children of these despicable acts against them left them overwhelmed with shame and embarrassment.
Imagine you telling your husband or your wife coming home and telling you, or anybody coming home and telling you after 20 times, or each time something happened, that something happened and nobody, exactly, and nobody called the police. You didn't call the cops. Why is that? Was it status? Was it your status? What's happening here? I'm trying, man. What's happening here? I don't know. Oh, Smokey.
So throughout their dreadful experiences with Mr. Robinson, all four women remained silent because many of them worked at the same time. Too embarrassed to reveal their assaults by Mr. Robinson to each other. Once they broke their silence in Avalon.
Hold up. So they all worked there at the same time. And nobody said anything to anybody when they could have told each other in Spanish. And nobody would have never knew. Smokey and his wife would have known what they was talking about. They all worked together at the same time. Wow. Craziness. It's and we're gonna reserve a judgment.
Of emotions began to flow between them. Hence, they're all here today.
In addition to the allegations of rape, sexual harassment, and hostile work environment, all four Jane Does claimed the Robinsons failed to pay them minimum or overtime wages. They weren't provided rest or lunch breaks or provided wage statements for the hours that were worked. The four Jane Does are also suing for intentional infliction.
That sounds like an under-the-table job you give a migrant. If you ask me, oh my goodness. Low wage, okay. This is crazy. You getting paid a low wage every time you come over to the house. You got to cough it up. Yeah, he got sex slaves, man. Here we go with the sex slave thing again. J-Rock, what's going on? How you doing? You got J-Rock in the building, man. What's good with it? You see what we talking about. It's crazy. I'm talking about we got multiple, over 60 some odd assaults that we're talking about here on four women repeatedly as they went back to work for a low wage with no pay statement, under the table, was scared they wasn't going to get paid, so they just coughed up whatever. My goodness, this is insane. And he talking about they had to go back and tell their husbands, man. You tell your husband that you let a man do you like that 20-something times, he going to tell you that you let it happen. That's crazy. It's crazy work. I'm trying my best to reserve judgment. I'm trying. I'm really trying, y'all. This is tough because as I'm listening to this for the second time, the math still ain't mathing. It's just not mathing to me. What in the world are they talking about here? The numbers are killing me. 20 times? And you working just the weekends? And the husbands do nothing? Nothing? And then from what we gather, he got settlements all over the place for years and years and years. And they just now bringing this up? Okay, let's keep going.
Of emotional distress, negligent infliction of emotional distress, gender violence, failure to pay overtime wages, and more. The four Jane Does are also seeking damages of no less than $50 million.
Obviously, no amount of money can compensate these women for what Mr. Robinson subjected them to. But given
50 million split 3-4 ways?
I don't know. The gravity of Mr. Robinson's despicable and reprehensible misconduct that is further detailed in the complaint, this amount is clearly warranted.
There are so many disturbing and, quite frankly, unsettling allegations mapped out in this complaint. I'm joined.
We're gonna get some bias. Hey, what's going on, J Rock? What's going on, Lejeune? How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh my goodness, I'm over here kind of tweaking a little bit right now. This is something else.
I don't believe that.
Let's let the young lady give her thoughts on this, because I really want a woman's perspective on this.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It breaks my heart to see everything that's going on with our black men, our black clean kings, when they get a certain stance, get a certain type of money in the bank, own properties. They're trying to emasculate me. I don't believe in that. Even as a black woman, I don't have no type of hate in me to emasculate a man. I don't care how he treated me. I don't care what. They full of it.
This is
They full of it.
ridiculous.
They keep on standing behind this stuff right here. Y'all keep on, black women. We ain't gonna have nobody. They already taking our boys out, putting them in jail. We ain't gonna have nobody stand up for y'all. Want to go around? We don't be protected in the black community. You ain't gonna have nobody. That Me Too project program they had, it was sickening.
Absolutely.
I seen them come at professional baseball players.
Absolutely. They're coming for everybody. Do you know how many baseball players have been canceled and sent away through all of this?
To Japan and stuff to play. Oh yes, I do. I keep up.
I'm talking, Addison Russell from the Cubs, Trevor Bauer, a lot of them. They just get hit up, man. They're getting hit, and it's crazy. Go ahead.
To sit and just watch what they're doing, and me, and I don't even like to swear. Being a prophet, I called it. A prophet, I called this. This is sick. It's sick. Y'all, sometimes I'm telling you right now, ladies, you got sons, you got brothers. Start now, right now, taking a stance for these brothers. Because I don't care what y'all say they do. When what happened to Sonya Massey, the black men was on the front line.
Yep, that's crazy. Let's let J Rock get in here real quick. J Rock, man, what's going on with you?
Derek, what's happening?
You tell me, bro. I'm sitting here.
Look, I haven't heard the full details about Smokey. I heard the story about Byron Scott being accused.
Oh, okay.
Byron Scott was accused by some young lady almost 40 years ago, I think 38 years ago, and was saying that, this was at a high school, and somehow he actually separated this young lady from the adults at that point in time. And this is 38 years ago, so this would have been about 1987. This is when the Lakers was in the heyday of their Showtime era at this point.
Uh-huh.
So now all of a sudden, Byron Scott supposedly had put hands or did something inappropriate with a so-called underage girl at high school at this point. And this is 38 years ago.
Okay.
Now they busting out with Smokey. I told people a long time ago, they all thought it was fun and games when they was coming at R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. They thought it was all fun and games. And I kept saying, I said, you know what? What makes you think they're going to stop there?
Oh, they're not stopping, man. And the amazing thing is you get into shock when you actually realize that they're not stopping, and it's just like over and over and over again. Now, I'm gonna give you a little bit of synopsis on what's happening, since it seems like that you kind of got in here on maybe a little bit of the tail end of it, or you might have been listening. Basically, what's going on is that 4 of Smokey Robinson's former maids, all Mexican or Hispanic, so we don't know what origin. They could be Mexican, they could be whatever. But they accused this man of sexual assault. SA, apologies. More than 20 times a piece for 3 of them. And I guess maybe about 7 or 8 times for 1. Now, they said that they didn't pay him regular wages. They stated that they didn't they just worked on weekends and whatnot, and they all worked kind of at the same time. So this seems like it was a busy time for Smokey. They claimed that he would go and take a shower. He would bring them in the room, lock them inside the room with him while he takes a shower, and he come out, put a towel on the bed, do his business. This is every one of them that has said that he's done this. Now, to me, and in my experience, just that sounds like a bit of a script.
Okay, wait a minute. They say he put a towel on the bed?
Yeah. And one of them said that he loved to just go ahead and, ejaculate in her all the time. And ain't no Smokey Robinson babies running around here.
Right. And see, here's the thing that gets me. What did they say that the amount that they were suing for? You said $50 million?
$50 million.
Is that all 4 of them collectively or $50 million a piece?
$50 million.
Okay. Now, in case people don't know, Smokey Robinson got that long Motown money, supposedly. Now, if people don't know the significance of Smokey Robinson and what he is, Smokey Robinson, essentially, if you really think about it, Smokey Robinson was R. Kelly in his heyday, which means he wrote for the Temptations, Diana Ross and Supremes, Martha Mandela's, the Miracles. Basically, if there was no Smokey Robinson, there was no Motown. Period.
Well, it seems like to me they have his net worth over here at $150 million, but I think that might be incorrect.
I think that's grossly underrated. Understated.
That's an inaccurate assessment.
That's understated. That man, that music called. What did they always say about Motown? Motown at that point was like the soundtrack of America.
It's kind of interesting to me because a couple of years back, Smokey Robinson came out. He was on TV. He was promoting a new album, and that new album title track and title was called Gasm. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was called Gasm. Now, he's in his 80s at this point, and I'm thinking, like, well, what the hell is Smokey Robinson doing coming out with an album and title track, and the main song is called Gasm? And I'm like, this might not end well in the back of my mind, but then, but it's kind of funny how in the industry, these little nuggets that make you say, this is uncomfortable happen. Just like with R. Kelly and Black Panties, that made me severely uncomfortable. Like, dude, I love the music, but they putting too much on a 40-some-year-old man to be singing about marrying, what? And I know you wrote all the songs, but they told you what they wanted that album to be like. It was, we understand that he might have had creative control, but he had control over what he created, but he didn't have creative control. You feel me?
Yeah. You know, but, like I said, with Smokey Robinson and then Myron Scott, we've been telling people a long time ago, and I think you know, the young lady on the panel, she said it very eloquently. You keep this up, you ain't gonna have nobody left.
Man, we
It wasn't
already got.
even then when they did it to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
being nice to the people. I can see him being too nice. Sometimes you can be too nice to people, and
Yeah.
they'll misuse you too. It
Yeah.
gives them an opportunity to come in, disrespect you, lie on you, feel like you won't fight back if they see it, say anything to you. I just don't believe it. Deep in my heart, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
And Michael Jackson.
You know what? I believe, you know what I do believe?
Oh my God, my phone is going off.
Sometimes stuff happens. And it might not have happened that way. You know, you got to think about it. You know, in order to make a lie go, it got to be a little hint of truth in there. You know, now, could it be possible that he had, you know, relations with these women? Yeah, absolutely possible. Do I think that 20 times you can be assaulted and you leave and you come back and you leave? At one point, what point does consent even play into it? Because if it happened 20 times, by the third or fourth time, you know what time it is. That's absolutely amazing to me. Hey, Lejeune, come on back if you can. That's absolutely amazing to me. Unequivocally. So we got people that's watching. You know, people who are in the chat right now. Let me know how y'all feel. Just surface level. You know, if you think that Smokey Robinson did this, put a 1 for yes and a 2 for no in the chat. Let me know, because this is ridiculous to me. It seems like the same old soup warmed over. Like there's no um creativity in this. Like and these men just out here snatching them up, snatching them up, doing whatever because they got this power and this influence, and you're gonna let a I'm trying to figure out when this happened. So we're gonna keep this tape rolling to see if we can come up with that equation. J Rock, you still with me, my boy?
Yep.
All right, let's roll.
Now by former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Nima, I was pretty stunned by this complaint, especially because of these graphic details in it. What's your reaction to it?
Stunned is the right word, Elizabeth.
I'm stunned.
Believe it when I read the allegations in the complaint. Not just one victim, multiple victims telling very similar stories of sexual assault and vaginal rape. Really disturbing to read, you know. And obviously, as lawyers, you think you've seen it all, but this was quite disturbing reading through the sordid details in this complaint.
Absolutely. And, you know, Smokey Robinson is a legendary singer, obviously for R&B, obviously for type of love music. But this is just, I can't emphasize enough how disturbing it is. And what do you kind of make of this pattern between Jane Doe 1, 2, 3, and 4? Smokey Robinson would allegedly.
This is crazy. Like 1, 2, 3, and 4. 60 assaults, 60 some odd assaults between 4 women. Whew, boy. Lord have mercy, help me.
Shower, put a towel down, and allegedly raped 4 different women, all of whom worked on his staff, all of whom were 4 Hispanic women, all now going by Jane Doe. But what's your reaction to just this, what feels like and appears like abuse of power, but also sexual assault and rape?
graphic details and very similar stories. Like you said, he would allegedly shower, he would come out, he put the towel down. Oftentimes these sexual assaults allegedly took place in parts of the home that didn't have cameras, when his wife was getting her nails done or otherwise out of the house. And you have individuals who, like you said, fall into the same category of, household help of a certain national origin and certain race, and you would take advantage of them.
That sounds crazy, man. I don't know. Y'all get to help me, man. This is crazy. It comes to me that a lot of women think that, men who, or people who actually give the presumption of innocence, or just kind of look at things for what is happening in front of your face, is, you don't take it at face value, then you're a misogynist, and you're this and you're that. And I'm trying my best to hold the two opposing thoughts in my head. I really am. But this ain't like bullshit. It looked like it. It smelled like it. It just seemed like some straight up bullshit, man.
Man, look, let me tell you this. All this shit.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
All this shit is the other shit got well out of hand. I mean, hell, y'all were talking about baseball. Y'all talking about baseball players going through the drama they've been going through. There was a certain football player that recently had his own drama that came up, and he got released because of it. And for those of you who do not know, it's a football player by the name of Justin Tucker, who was a kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best kickers in the league, mind you. And he got cut loose because of allegations that was supposed to have been similar to Deshaun Watson.
Man, so I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking forward to the mainstream media dogging out Smokey Robinson. Man. I'm not looking forward. I'm not looking forward to this.
Can I go deep? If you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind.
Go ahead.
I just want to wake up y'all sense of self-awareness. This to show y'all like things that really dealing with politics and this type of thing that goes on now, especially with our black men. Why I know it's not true. And let's just thinking with common sense at first. I'm gonna use that and start with common sense. He had hairdressers. Not only he had maids, he had own personal chefs. They never said anything about it. He had road hairdressers, people he took on tour. People that does his wardrobe. They didn't make those allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
These are retaliation of Jezebel spirits from Latino community that in debt with the politics.
You know
When
what?
you
I
do
wasn't gonna say
like
nothing.
when you do a civil suit like that, say you just said, okay, around 50 million. Okay, we around 50 million. Do you know how much they'll probably get out the 50 million from two of them, from all four of them? 2 million. All the money and proceedings going to court costs, lawyer fees, paying of judges, bribery. They might walk out with about $1 million.
But you know what? I'm thinking 50 million is just a lowball figure they're throwing out there. Because I'm thinking they're gonna add that amount is gonna go up.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more this investigation goes and the more stuff they try to pile up, it's gonna go from 50 to 75. It's gonna probably hit 100 somewhere down the line.
Right, because the mission is to break you, make you desolate and then take you to court.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they tried it on every level.
Mm-hmm.
They did it to R. Kelly. They tried to get Diddy. They definitely tried to bankrupt and take all of Donald Trump's money.
They went at Bill
See,
Cosby.
let me tell you something. Brian Steele, I knew Brian Steele was a good attorney. I watched him in Trump defense. He was one of Trump defense attorneys, right? So
Uh,
y'all know he became Young Thug attorney. And I said, oh man, Young Thug got Brian Steele. He got a good attorney. What Smokey Robinson need, even not even half a majority work to get a good defense attorney, a good attorney to fight his civil suit. I say pay him by $5.5 million. And all hearsay evidence, get them thrown out. Don't let it be admissible. Deep dive, get a private investigator. See if these ladies related. Get your private investigator to go through their phone record. Get them subpoenaed. He got every right to get the judge to sign a subpoena like they do.
and what's crazy about this whole situation is this hasn't even grown legs yet. I'm on this as right now as it has happened. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw the
yeah, I get
news and
that up.
I'm
Yeah, I
like,
get that
boom,
up.
oh God. Because once again, I can predict like it seems like the little Shannon Sharp situation is going away for some reason. They're not really talking about it like that. And they need something at this point in the Democratic sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is you think that the Shannon Sharp case was not as strong as they thought, so they try to pivot to something else?
As they always do.
Mm-hmm. Shannon Sharp not worth what's the legendary Mr. Smokey Robinson. And when I'm gonna put pronunciation on his name and respect because he is. And I just feel like that he's not worth that. Way more. He 3 times worth more than Shannon
The
Sharp.
man wrote My Girl, for God's sake.
Ooh,
My Girl. And
ooh.
that's crazy.
The man helped produce
They just stole that mother.
Doc of the Bay, and that song that come out to the Smokey Robinson dropped that song when Sam died in the airplane. Smokey Robinson, not Sam, but what's his name? When he dropped that song, Doc of the Bay, he was 24 years old. When he died, he was 24 years old. He was died in the airplane. Smokey Robinson dropped that single in August, 3 months after he died in the plane crash. And it was one of the top songs for almost a decade.
Hmm.
Doc of the Bay.
It's just amazing to me what I'm watching and what I'm experiencing with these allegations because it's just like they cut them out of a little cookie cutter mold. No experience is any different. It's just we're gonna just tell you what we're gonna tell you, and you're gonna eat it. You're gonna like it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you got people who won't think beyond the obvious, or you got people who believe what they want to believe. It's people right now that as soon as they saw it, guilty. You know, like I said,
You
some
just got
interesting
people that
things.
just like to be gaslighted. They like to be lied to because they lie to themselves. The worst people walking the earth are people that lies to themselves. They're very dangerous. Um, Smokey Robinson, he always stood out as honorable and commendable, especially when, like I said, when these people was deceased and he was still getting money and Motown bringing in money and royalties out their music, he was still assisting and giving it to their family. He's always been that type of man of integrity. I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe they had the balls to get up there and want anyone who knows the legendary of this man, the credibility that this man have. You're gonna have people who have, the courts of public opinions, like you were just saying, that has what they got to say. But people be mad because they never wanted to be where they were at in life.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, you actually speaking on it for real because we sat here and we watched, with all type of intense eyes, as a group of people, how they mistreated and due process was
Michael
taken away
Jackson.
from Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. You can see it with Diddy. You can see all of the different things that they do, to try to,
When they
even Harvey
deteriorated
Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, yes, when they deteriorated Michael Jackson's mental state, when it stressed him out so bad and caused him to be in a type of depression state, and people were still outside that courtroom gathered. I mean, thousands of people supporting him when they deteriorated his mental state. And you still know a person carry grace when he could have
Hmm.
turned around and countersued them kids' mother, relying on him after he, was found, you know, in the genuine
Yeah,
of it. Yeah, he could have countersued. He carried so much grace, but it broke his heart, and that's what caused him to have them, mental breakdowns and have bad mental health. And he was so mentally unstable after that. They really attacked his mental real bad. They attacked the Michael Jackson. That hurted him.
I mean,
He
because
was
he did that
heartbroken.
out of trust. He dealt with them kids because he didn't have a childhood himself, and he dealt with them
Yes,
on,
he
on their
loved the
level,
team.
on their level, man. It's they take a lot of things and they pervert it, to make it, just unsavory for everybody. You got um, even with the Shannon Sharp thing, man, they just skipped over the fact that this woman was sending the nastiest text messages you could ever send to a man. I'm sure it was pictures. I'm sure it was all type of stuff that she sent that we're not even talking about. Because they don't
Yeah,
want, they don't ever want
they're not
to,
gonna show it to the public either. They're not gonna
right?
show it to the public
Because
because
they don't
they don't
allow
want
for the woman in a scenario to,
and society to be in the bad light and take accountability. I
right.
was just talking to somebody like about that. They don't. This society, this stereotype society, do not want to see evil, Jezebel, demonic women in the bad light, in the darkness that they walk in.
Absolutely not. They never do. I mean, so you look at the situation for what it is. You got an older man, Smokey Robinson, who had a whole staff of people, that worked for him, that cooked for him, cleaned for him, and all those different things. And then you got these four particular women that have come out, and now we're hearing about settlements and things like that happened in the past. So this was supposed to have happened. Hold on, wait a minute now. So
But to bring it to the
this was
media,
supposed to have happened between 2023 and 2024.
I don't believe it.
20.
I don't believe. I don't believe it.
Oh, whoa.
Unless he was going to a dark dimension state. But I don't know the competence of his, you know, of his health now or how it is. But you know, he probably going to do his regular checkup with doctors and seeing, psychiatrists and stuff like that. But I just don't believe it. I just feel like they try to get them when they think they're getting at their weakest moment. And I don't believe them. And I think it was probably offered. So they probably try to, push a deal over with him. 'Cause, you know, he probably going to do his regular checkup with doctors and seeing, psychiatrists and stuff like that. But I just don't believe it. I just feel like they try to get him when they think they're getting at their weakest moment. And I don't believe them. And I think it was probably offered. So they probably try to, No. So I can tell you by them bringing it to the media, he well in his right sense because he didn't take a deal with him. And if he would have took a deal with him before they brought it to the media, because the media means they want to put pressure on you, you know. So I believe it was like, first of all, we gonna slide and see or do some, do some type of arrangement before we even try to, we'll take it public if you don't do this. You know what I'm saying? They did that. Okay, now we got to go to the media. Oh, y'all thought he was old and didn't know any better. But he's in his right mind. Like, go ahead, take it to the media. Go ahead, take it to court.
So
Do
you
it.
mean to tell me? Oh my goodness, I can't even. It's like I can't even part my lips to say some of this stupidness. So if this happened, and please, Judith, where did you get this information from? Please, if you drop the link in the chat or something, because I need to know where you got this from. That it happened 2-3 years ago when this man was 80. At the same time that he's doing this at 80 years old, we had an 80-year-old Joe Biden going through it.
Going to the wrong planes, getting on the wrong
Oh,
planes, walking
man, it
everywhere.
was crazy. Like you don't know what. Look, age ain't nothing but a number. I would assume, and like Noob say, we might have to blame Viagra, Cialis, or this new shit Hims that they selling that I really want to invest in because it's got it's pumping on the market. People going to buy it. I don't know, man. Smokey, wow, 80. How old is Smokey Robinson right now? Anybody?
He's up there with my grandmother. My grandmother is 87. I can say he's
Hold on,
about
let me see.
84, 85.
Let me see what's up with who Smokey at his age. Let's see what's going on with that, and see what they're gonna tell me. 85 years old. Okay,
He's about 85.
so in 2023 and 2024, an 83-year-old man who was working on an album called Gasm decides that he wants to be a deviant out here and just start taking it from illegal migrants. Hmm?
This man probably couldn't even ejaculate. This man
Illegal
probably was
migrants, maybe.
up.
I,
I
I, I,
don't believe it. I don't believe
I'm
it.
trying.
I
If
have
this
read this
happened,
chat.
if this happened in
I read this.
2022, 2023,
How
okay.
long did they say that this actually happened? This had to have been about years ago.
If this was 2022, 2023, and he was getting down, bro. This is 60 encounters. I'm 46 years old and I ain't had no 60 encounters in a year. What the? Oh my God, Smokey!
Yeah, this man, a pill couldn't get this man up. I've been in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for the man got prostate. Oh my God, they're lying. Just to come and think about it. The man got prostate problems. He probably don't have snippets. They are lying. They are lying. This man can't eat. This man ain't got enough in him to ejaculate. They're they're not even one time. They're lying. They're lying.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out a definitive date.
This had to have been years ago when they said that this happened, because there's
This
no
got
way.
to be.
I need to know. I get to know. We get to, like I said, we are at this on the fly right now, and we're just trying to figure out what we can figure out with our brains here on Provoke Thoughts. I want to thank everybody who is listening and watching on X. Got a few people over there. I got a few people on YouTube. Those on X, you can come over to YouTube and vice versa. Make sure that if it's your first time, you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you know every time we go live and we get to talk about it. This is Provoke Thoughts Live, and Smokey Robinson is in trouble. You hear me? Trouble. It's crazy. It's clouds on a sunshiny day right now for me.
If you believe, if you say, if anybody, and I'm on your channel, on your account, if anybody believes that an 83-year-old man in 2023 and 2024 got up often, got up often and ejaculated and was having over 60 encounters with illegal men. Well, not illegal.
Well,
Latino
no,
women that
no,
was
no. Let's back it up because I got a little info. I dug a little bit deeper, but still, still, still. Let's. We talking about between 2014 and 2020, and I'm still calling BS.
y'all, I've been in healthcare for years. These men don't have prostate. They don't have most of the all of them. They don't have nothing down there. They can't get up.
I'm calling
They're
BS.
just being a CNA, just taking being a caregiver. They don't have that. They they're not doing that. Not with the bottom part at all. Their mind is not there. I don't care if they put their mind there for a whole week. It's not coming up.
I mean, they talking about. Wait a minute. It's boggling my mind. I'm just. I'm.
Tell
I'm.
his name, Otis Redding. Tell his name,
I'm.
Otis Redding.
My mind
Uh,
boggled a little bit because it's just like they just don't let up.
But see, the thing is, it's not just about the money. They're trying to come after legacies of these individuals.
Yeah,
Like,
it's about legacy and it's about masters and it's
yeah,
everything.
she mentioned Michael Jackson earlier. Obviously, we all know Michael Jackson. If he was alive
humiliation
right now,
ritual.
he would
Humiliation
be
ritual.
right. Michael Jackson would be really the owner of Sony right now if he was alive. So,
And all the Beatles. The
and
Beatles.
there was that. And then if he was the owner of Sony, we all know R. Kelly would not be in jail. And what more likely, he probably would have had R. Kelly probably president of the R&B division of Sony.
All
Plus,
right,
he would
so
have got his master and everything else that would have went along with it.
we talking about as far back from what I can see as 2007, but I still call BS.
So then that would have been so we're looking at 18 years ago. So then
I still call
85. BS. So that would have been about what 67 for Smokey.
And I still call BS.
Underpaid to me is crazy because most of them, and I stay in Nashville, most of them up here that they ain't got rid of still go to through the temp service to get paid $13 to $14 an hour, while the temp service get most of the money and they do the hard work and don't want to even go home and clock out. They have to make them go home. Go home. Your 8 hours up, go home. And they out there don't hear. They're very money hungry. They're money hungry. They pull double shift. Huh? See, we said go home. They only speak money. That's their only language.
I'm talking about, I'm talking about they say that this old man, even it's in his late 60s, if this has been going on. So, but it don't make sense because if some of it happened between 2014 and 2020, how was that? It was any of them working there at the same time? None of it really makes sense to me. So I'm certain
I
that
see
all
how
this is
many of
good.
their kids and grandkids is deported. Who's out there in the jail? Who's out here in prison that's related to him? How many of their sons are in prison? What what gang that their son relates to? What type of cartel they affiliated with? I would do some deep digging, private investigation on them Jezebel spirits.
Here's another question I got to ask real quick. What jurisdiction filed the suits against Smokey? What
I
state?
think this
Was
is
it California?
California. Yep.
Ugh, that's still bad because California, that's kind of like Me Too Junior.
You better believe it, buddy.
That's Me Too Junior because And heaven forbid if somebody turns around and tries to say, you know what, we got an accuser in New York.
And then it's a wrap, because as Donald Trump said, you cannot get a fair trial in New York. You go to New York, it's a wrap.
And Texas. In Texas as well. In Texas as well. You cannot get a fair trial there.
It's crazy. I mean, it's no evidence state, no lie. But I'm telling you, it's amazing to me that we sit here and we going through the same thing again. Same thing.
But you know it's gonna be so ironic. Now all these other people that was talking about Bill Cosby, that was talking about R. Kelly, they're gonna be like, man, these women lying on them. They lying. I said, we've been telling y'all they've been lying a long time ago.
You'd be shocked. But you'll be shocked at how some of these people in the entertainment industry will react, though, because they turn on and eat their own.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Yep.
Everybody's mouth is closed about Diddy because they was at the parties.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they are. Diddy not supposed. Oh, it Diddy was. A lot of y'all need to be setting up there. Yeah, I think there's a lot of y'all need to be setting up Diddy if y'all say he did it.
Everybody shut up about R. Kelly because they got bones all off up in their closets that they don't want to come out.
Yeah,
none of them really knew. None of them.
This case right here, like it was the Michael Jackson case. This case right here, it just boils my blood. I just do not believe it. I do not. And they used the plant. Which is the black lawyers. You're going to do it. Your lawyers are ready. That's the plant. On mining grovers. There you go.
Yeah,
sure.
you're absolutely correct about that. It has an odor of mendacity. It really does. Yep. And she's not lying. The basketball game is definitely on. And before I knock out, I'm gonna give me some NBA action because it is fantastic.
Yep. It is fantastic, and we already had one fantastic ending.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna tell you what, people, we're gonna get back to this one. I promise.
Oh, we got to.
We're gonna get back to this one. We got a lot of things that I plan on talking about. I've been doing some rebranding, and some people have noticed or not. Just trying to, present a new idea, a new thought process. We're gonna expand, provoke thoughts. We're gonna talk about politics. We're gonna talk about these particular topics. We're gonna talk about a lot of different stuff that's going on out here, man. We got a lot to discuss, man, because it all leads back to everything that we believe in.
Yep. And also too,
down to being a critical thinking and also just try to advocate for awareness in every possible way.
Just be aware. My thing is just be aware and do your own research and just hold the two thoughts in your head, because could it be that he was just an old school freak? Maybe, possibly, but I got a hard time 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me. When you say 20 times, then we go together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, and the part that they didn't have was I should quit. If he's over here mistreating me, and I know I'm not getting treated right, and I'm getting SA. My choice in my mind would be the indication is quit. If I feel
after 20 times, though, man, 20 times. That's what's killing me. I'm stuck there. That's where I'm stuck at. That's where the breaking the record and the scratching in the album is. 20 times. 20 times.
And also too, you're not the only one talking about this tonight. Spit and Fire on live. Shout out to her. She on live right now. She covering.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, I got X over here going bananas right now. Chiming in and looking at what's going on. But I promise you, I might need to jump over and see what Spitfire is talking about because this is really, really interesting to me, man. 20 times, man.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate it. It was a lot of
And you are more than
Nice to
welcome
meet
on
you,
the
Lucia.
panel.
educational.
You are,
Y'all have a great night.
you are amazing, and I welcome you back on my panel anytime. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Much
I
respect.
appreciate it. All right, J Rock, we finna go ahead and get up out of here and bounce like the chicks did back in the day. You feel me?
Appreciate it. Oh, for sure. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man, and I hope you enjoyed your birthday.
Oh yeah, I did a little something. I couldn't do a whole lot because it was on the Sunday and then it was Monday. But the one thing about my birthday, it kind of sucks because my birthday always comes close to Mother's Day, like either a few days of, or maybe like exactly a week before. So I'm still gonna. So I'm gonna treat it like my birthday month since I really can't do a whole lot on that day. I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna get some more stuff this month though for sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna intro you and outro you. I don't even know if you saw my new intro, my guy. I'm trying to work on some new things, make it hot. But we're gonna go up out of here real quick. I appreciate everybody who came in. Of course, if you leaving, before you leave, if it's your first time leaving, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. If you have not been on X, go check me out on X. I actually do a lot of memes and stuff on TikTok, provoke thoughts on TikTok. Go check me out. I appreciate y'all for coming out. Love you. Gotta go. I'ma holla. Y'all be cool. This is what you need to be doing.
So Donald Trump is claiming that Young Thug's YSL co-founder slept with District Attorney Fani Willis.
And by the way, nobody can go in a versus battle with R. Kelly in the world. Living our game. Y'all lucky he in trouble, motherfucker.
But we're dealing with the real world.
But you have very low unemployment rates in the US and we have a very high unemployment rate in the France. How come what they were seeking for?
Well, maybe we have a better president than you do.
How long before